Hi, this is Frank J. Avella with Awards Daily, speaking with the stars of Peacock's exciting reboot of Queer as Folk, Jesse James Keitel and CG. Guys, this is a real treat because I just binged the season and I love the show. Congratulations.
Woo, thank
Woohoo!
you.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Um, the relationship between Ruthie and Shar is so terrific because it feels authentic, not something manufactured to show straight people how perfect we are somehow. Tell me about working together to establish this awesome connection you guys have.
Ooh,
I mean, honestly, instant chemistry. Like,
that callback moment.
yeah, truly. And the first time we met over Zoom, it was like, okay, great, there you are.
Yep.
It's a really a profound level of trust we needed as scene partners for some really like intimate, vulnerable moments. And there was not one time I think either of us felt we couldn't trust the other person.
Truly. It was kind of odd, but also very welcome to have that kind of blind trust with a person that you just meet, but knowing that you got to fall either way. So,
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. I want to speak to the importance of queer representation beyond what we normally see and how this series goes so much deeper into anything that's made before, certainly on network TV, especially for trans representation.
Well, I mean, look at how groundbreaking the original versions of this show were, and all of the incredible storytelling that was made because of those shows. You know, we have an opportunity now to do the same thing, but updated for a 2022 audience.
mhm.
And, you know, seeing trans people represented in television is incredibly important. You know, you can't turn on the TV without seeing trans people be attacked in the media, in legislation, in physical violent attacks. And, you know, it's important to see us humanized
In a new light.
in a new light. Yeah.
Yeah, in a very new light, and which brings me to a question I have for Jesse. What I love so much about Ruthie is how flawed they are in a way, and it's so relatable, I think. I was reminded of Rachel Griffiths in 6 Feet Under. She's on they are on a personal journey. Did you have input into Ruthie's story, Jesse?
Ruthie also uses she, her pronouns. Just
Oh, okay.
right.
I thought so, but I was told not to.
No, no. Yeah, Ruthie uses she, her, Cher uses they, them. I didn't have necessarily input in Ruthie's story, but I trusted the creators so much that I didn't need it. You know, this show really is made by queer people, and it shows in the final product. You know, our showrunners, Stephen Dunn and Jacqueline Moore, are incredible. And the way they handled some really nuanced and unique storytelling with Ruthie in particular, I am giddy that we got to tell these stories. And truly, like the parts of the show that like I got to tell with CG too, it's like hats off to Queer as Folk.
Big time. CG, Shar proves to be a bit more layered than we thought. No spoilers. Can you tell me about the initial antagonism with Brenda, Kim Cattrall's character, that evolves into a mutual respect of sorts?
Oh, well, that's a good question. Yeah, because she kind of barges into the family, not barges, but she really like carves her way in there unbeknownst to everyone. But then while she's slithering in there, she really helps share with major, adjustments, like feeding their kids and just like being a parent. And in that moment or those moments, there was a turn in the development of their relationship that wasn't the same, and just it grew from there. And yeah.
Jesse, this is a treat for me because you're the reason I watch Big Sky.
Oh,
Uh,
that's so sweet.
it's true. What's in store for Jesse in season 3, and where would you like Jerry to go?
That is a great question. I'm definitely very much in Queer as Folkland, and excited to be here for a bit. But Jerry's got limitless possibilities.
I agree. And my final question is, Ruthie and Brody's love for one another is key to this series. Did you and Devin get to spend a lot of time together? Was there rehearsal time in order to develop that, or was that another thing that came so naturally?
Listen, Devin and I became best friends the day we met. Truly one of the best friends I've ever had in my life, and I think that reads on camera.
It certainly does. The Babylon Massacre is such a significant part of the series, and it reverberates through all 8 episodes. Can you discuss the importance of that storyline on your character, and to you as well?
I mean, it's a deeply impactful moment in the show, and our show doesn't sit in it for a long time. I think that's definitely a concern that some people have, but it shows the aftermath. It shows a community rebuilding, and I think a lot of what we go through as characters is like, who are we after our community is shaken? Who are we after our friend group is shattered and after it changes? And Ruthie's personal journey is she feels very disconnected from her body. She can't cry and she can't come. And part of that is leaning on the people that she loves, like Cher and Brody, and finding herself again.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
Cher, they weren't a part of that moment, but their partner and mother of their children were. So that, I mean, Jesse used the word reshaping after shattering. It really, it puts a new world on the world you were trying to build, and it challenges to restart in a way, both on and off camera, as far as what do you do?
Well put. Another important theme, I think, is this difficult balance between wanting to be faithful to your partner and also wanting to explore yourself, who you are. And sometimes they conflict for so many people, not just queer people. And I think that's relatable too. And you guys do a wonderful job of showing how much these two people love one another, but also have that thing that I think we all have.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's being faithful to your partner, and there's also being faithful to yourself. And I think it's difficult to maintain that in any relationship. And I think that's something that queer people and non-queer people who watch the show will definitely be able to relate to.
Have you guys seen the series in full?
Yes, I have. You've seen it, right?
I have not watched the last episode.
It's so good.
I loved it.
Oh, it is so good.
Yeah, the last episode is so good.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you what your thoughts are, but I think you.
I'm a fan. I can't believe I'm on the show. Like, I love it. I just keep going back and rewatching the finale.
It is so...
What is working in New Orleans been like? Have you guys were you able to have fun?
Oh, I mean, New Orleans is fun. You can't go down the street without running into a parade or a festival or something.
Or somebody you know.
Yeah, or somebody you know. So Ciji's actually from New Orleans.
I am, yes,
Oh.
born and raised on the New Orleans soil. So to have these two different, what these people's worlds are like in New Orleans and the actual experience of growing up there and having them come together was pretty thrilling, And
That's
pretty amazing. Wow.
And I'm not from New Orleans, and I loved it. So it was really fun. It was cool because we would go out in the city. We would go to nightclubs and go to like the local gay bars and stuff. And so getting to feel part of the queer community there was so special. And also a lot of the queer community is highlighted on the show. There's
scratching the surface.
Like,
so broad.
But there's this whole vibrant drag community in New Orleans that a lot of them are featured on Queer as Folk, and it's so cool getting to see that all like mesh and blend.
Shout out to Laveau Contraire.
Yeah, Laveau, Siren, Debbie with a D,
Virginia
Slims, the whole like Hugo Girl and the whole Chokehold crew, this queen. Yeah, some really amazing talented artists.
God, you make me want to go. Me and my husband are now going to have to visit.
I mean, you already know.
Yeah.
So my last question to you guys is, what are your hopes for season 2 in terms of your character journey?
You want to go first?
I mean, I just hope that we get to continue to explore together. I mean, we leave season 1 on such a height that the beginning of season 2 it's like, do you carry it from that height, or do you go in the middle and discover slash find the depths of where these people are going to go next? So I think all of that to say, I don't know what the hopes are, because I don't know where these people can go. I mean, they can go any, the possibilities are endless is also what I'm trying to say, you know, they're endless.
I definitely, there's some opportunity here for some truly never before seen queer storytelling. And some stuff that specifically does revolve around Ruthie that I am very excited to potentially see some of that explored. Yeah, specifically I think we're on the same page.
We're completely on the same page. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because it's like, it's not, I think that's something that happens in real life that people don't like to talk about. That, you know, like identity is fluid and ever changing, and there is truly no one way to be queer. And
so is orientation.
And so is orientation. And also I think I truly, and I'm speaking from my own lived experience, I think people often cling to an orientation as an identity, when meanwhile sexual orientation is this beautiful, expansive, fluid thing, and it's not cut and dry. Just like gender identity is not, sexuality is not, presentation is not. And the more we get to know ourselves, the more we can project that onto the world. So I think there's a really amazing opportunity with season 2 to really expand that, more so than we even did in season 1.
Perfectly put. And with that, I wish you guys enjoy this whole experience. You guys deserve it. This is Frank J. Avella with Awards Daily, and now I'm speaking with Finn Argus and Ryan O'Connell. Guys, what a great performances. Just amazing. I binged the entire thing, and I just want to congratulate you first off.
Oh, thank you so much. We really tried.
Well, you really succeeded. Were you familiar with the Brit and US versions, and what made you guys want to take part in this reboot?
I was a huge fan of Steven's, Stephen Dunn, our creator and showrunner. And I was 1 year old when the show originally aired, so I wasn't the target demo, but I have since...
They're so young.
I'm so young. If there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I'm so young.
Oh, baby.
But I think what really drew me to this, and also the originals as well, was just the fact that there's such explicit queer storytelling. And specifically this iteration is, a really diverse array of queer folks, and it's a bunch of queer performers playing queer characters, which to me is something I'm really passionate about and I found exciting. That's something that Stephen communicated to me was really important to him in the creation of this show, was having queer people involved on every, step of the way.
Yeah, and I feel like I make things that would give younger me an easier time, and I feel like me being a part of the reboot is like giving 12-year-old me a solid, because I watched the orig when I was 12 and loved, obviously, who has problems with gay sex, not me. But I definitely felt like, okay, like, there's no disabled representation, which is fine. It was 1999, obviously. But being a part of the reboot, I mean, 12-year-old me would have been so excited. And so, yeah, it's been...
Well, and what you've done as writer and actor is extraordinary on the show. Julian is full of surprises.
Yeah, he is. He's a freck on a lash, for sure. Yeah, he's very specific. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No one quite like him.
And Finn, Mingus has quite a journey from episode 1 to quite the cathartic finale. Can you share what you drew on to show us so much of what was happening inside?
I just have so much angst just bottled up inside of me. No, I don't know. I mean, when I was 17, I feel like I was very similar to how Mingus is in season 1. And I got to channel my own sort of coming of age experience. And also there's a lot of anger in Mingus's storyline, which you don't see a ton of until they perform. And that's also something I can relate to. It's a very frustrating experience growing up queer in a non-affirming environment, which was my experience. And the way that I've processed that emotion is through art, like through music specifically for me. But being able to do that through drag was a totally like other level of liberation. So I mean, it felt so good. It felt so cathartic. And being able to play a character that is self-assured and fully embodies their queerness from the get-go, like it's not a coming out story in the slightest, was also really refreshing to me. I hope to see more of that.
That and You Have Such an Accepting Mother, played brilliantly by Juliette Lewis.
She's amazing. She
Our
was
queen.
so much fun to work with and just to hang out with. I want to see us do a drag performance together, a little mother-daughter moment. Yeah, putting that into
Pushed for that in season 2.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
We love. Okay, the wheels are turning.
So guys, the Babylon Massacre is this jolting and significant part of the series and reverberates through all 8 episodes. Can you discuss the importance of that storyline to your character and to yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like unfortunately it's a part of our culture. And I felt like what was interesting about it was I think those tragedies happen and they're horrific, but you really never know what happens to the survivors. Like there's no kind of checking in, there's no understanding of what happens afterwards. And I think Stephen, talked to a lot of Pulse survivors and he had a lot of amazing stories. And I just thought, what an interesting, important thing to do, because it's important to humanize these survivors. And I feel like that kind of rarely gets done. And we kind of get desensitized to the sheer numbers of the tragedy. So it was really, really exciting creatively. And I think to figure out how people move through the grief and move on.
Yeah, it shines a light on the messy healing process, which I think is something people don't spend enough time thinking about because, like you said, it's a harsh reality that a lot of marginalized communities face. In this specific instance, based on the Pulse nightclub shooting, which targeted like queer Latinx community. But seeing the process of that healing unfold, I feel like is really helpful for audiences to, empathize on a deeper level and see that, some people do have to live with that trauma, and you can still live a full, happy, healthy life. And it may not be easy, but seeing those stories played out is something that I love to see, and I think a lot of people will find healing as well.
And you use the word messy, and I that's one of the things I really appreciate so much about this series is how messy it is and how the characters are just allowed to be real.
Yeah, I mean, that was really, really important to me because I feel like sometimes when you have such an inclusive show, there's this sort of pressure to represent an entire, section of the population, and there needs, people need to be perfect. Obviously, we know that's just not how people are. And I think that was the freedom creatively of working on a show that was completely a queer cast, was that we didn't feel pressure to speak for anyone. So it was really kind of character first, identity second. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. What are your guys, what are your hopes for season 2 in terms of your characters' odysseys?
Oof. I want Mingus to just date a bunch of boys, or actually whoever. I want to see Mingus have some fun, because they have a pretty rough go of it season 1. So it'd be nice to see them relax into their queerness and just have some fun. Same with like everyone in the show.
Ben wants a lot more sex scenes. Did you understand that?
That's what I'm
Did
saying.
you pick up what they're putting down? It's actually insane.
Are you writing this down?
Sick. Freak. I want Julian to go to flight attendant school and serve ginger ale to the masses, but hopefully not for too long.
Oh, that's so funny. What I was thinking for Mingus's storyline was actually drinking ginger ale on planes.
Oh my God. Okay, collab.
Crossover
Oh my God,
episode.
amazing.
Our first scene with
I
dialogue together.
know, because me and Finn were in a couple scenes together, but we don't really talk to each other. But they would always do a little something.
Yeah.
little playful, like, you know what I mean?
We were trying to make
trying to
the
make
Ming
this
and Julian
happen.
storyline happen.
Yeah.
But we settled for it in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Aww.
Which
That's
is more
adorable.
important.
Well.
Yes. I don't know. I think you might have given the writers an idea.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of the writers.
There you
I got ideas.
I've just been in his ear like, we should kiss in season 2.
Ew, sick.
Ryan, the scene where we actually get to see disabled people having sex was quite groundbreaking, I think. Was that your idea?
Yeah, I mean, I think Stephen was also really, really, into that idea. And I think, gay sex has been my muse for quite a while. There was plenty of gay disabled sex on Special. And, the why stop? Why stop? Because Special ended and there was no one to pass the disabled gay sex baton to. So Queer as Folk was great. And also, again, having Marvin and Julian both in the show, having 2 queer disabled characters, that was also really, really amazing. So yeah, I wanted plenty and plenty of gay disabled sex for sure.
Guys, enjoy this moment because this is a really wonderful, it's a gift that you've given us. And thank you for taking the time to speak with us.